Eventually, you start to get weak. You start to, okay, these are my friends. You start to ground yourself, and you start to realize, these guys, these are people who are going to be there for the rest of my life. Might as well get to know them a little better, because just can't seem to find friends anywhere else either. So it's just like, trying to fit in, and it's just more like, you're kind of getting more and more into like smoking and doing all kinds of bad stuff. And then because that's just what kids do. They experiment with certain stuff. Everybody was doing it, everybody was drinking, everything. And that's how it started. It was just kind of like, well, all my friends are doing, we all had a plan, so we all went and we got nice and buzzed, and it just turned into a weekend thing. It's just like, well, first one weekend was good, and then like next weekend, and then it was like every weekend, and then it just started escalating. And then after that, it just I was going, and by 16 years old, I was already a full-blown alcoholic. That's when I finally started to like think to myself, okay, is this the life that I want? Like, is this the life, that I'm gonna continue for, the rest of everything? That's when that was that flare that really started to notice and click on and say, hey, Dale, that life ain't for you anymore. It's set you back so many times. I've quit so many times. It's quit so many times I lost count. But it was in that moment and in those moments where I actually figured out, hey, this ain't the life for me. We can't carry on like this anymore. You're destroying your life, hurting your family, you're hurting your kids, and there's people out there who actually care for you. And yeah, that's when I noticed that I really, really wanted to make a change. Really, you're not alone, and there is something out there. There is a higher power, and this high that I got from that Crucial was something that that never 100% actually ever left my body, because that's something that really, really brought me back to who I am today. Because that day was the day where I started to realize, okay, maybe this alcohol ain't for me. Maybe this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing in life. Maybe I'm supposed to be doing something else, because this unexplainable high is something I gotta look more into, because I liked it. I wanted that feeling. I wanted to feel joy of absolute, without being on drugs, without being high. When I went to treatment almost 3 years ago, something there was lost. I had bad social anxiety. I couldn't talk to nobody. I couldn't be in the same room with person without because my strength wasn't there. My alcohol. I had to be drunk to do these things. That's what kept me in my state. But being around these guys, showed me something. Showed me something that's like, okay, well, why are you doing this? Why are you here? Why are you trying to help us? Why are you there? And then I hear this story. It was so similar to mine, but different in so many aspects. The hangovers and all that were all the same. The struggles were all the same. The only difference is that we were just on two different reserves, and we were just two separate individuals. And I was like, yo, I want to do that. How do I get there? How do I get to that point? It wasn't just something that happened overnight, It was something that actually took time, and I put in that effort to actually get me to where I am right now, because it was that same spark, that same little happiness that reawoken who I was spiritually and who I was as a person again when I was broken and damaged when I went back to the treatment center. So I did some counseling with these guys, and they showed me everything. And one thing I pleaded with them in most certainty, and I looked them in the face and I told them, can I get back who I was? Could I get back who Dale was before the drinking, before the drugs, before the alcohol? Or is all the damage already done? He looked at me and he said, of course you can. And he's like, it's just gonna take a little bit of time, but of course you can.